you're doing well. It's a little drizzly and chilly where I am, so I'm settled into my little nook here and happy to be sharing the morning with you, having some tea. I thought I would share some basics of loving kindness meditation with you this morning. It's something I teach weekly at my free meditation circle. If you live in Portland, you should come check it out. And I guess I'll start by saying I was a very skeptical meditator when I first started. It seemed like a big challenge and something that wouldn't really change my life that much. But loving kindness was kind of the bridge that helped me become a regular meditator. And I have to say, having crossed over to the darker light side, whatever you call it, I've just seen such amazing results, both mentally for myself and how I hold people in situations that come up, but also literal examples of how this practice has impacted my life. So one example I can give is I've been practicing this for months now, and one of the components is pulling to mind a neutral person in your life who you don't have very much judgment about, and just sending them loving energy, both for yourself to kind of create more connection with the people who you do encounter in your world, but also just energetically to put love out into the world, always a good thing. And I've had this indifferent or neutral person in my practice be my mailman, and my mailman is now my friend. So it's been really fun to see how that practice has actually impacted my real life. We exchanged Christmas cards this year, and he's just like such a wonderful person who I never would have, maybe I would have gotten to know him eventually, but I feel like this practice is really to credit for all that connection that I found with these people who I probably didn't have as much of a reason to be connected to in a serious way before. So we'll start out, I'll just tell you a little bit about the practice, and then we'll practice a little bit together. So this has a few components, the way I teach it. There are some key phrases which are totally customizable to you. So I like, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be peaceful, may I be free. Some other good ones are, may I be safe, may I be nourished, may I be loved. Whatever you feel resonates with you and that you can feel authentic sending that energy out into the world. Another component is practicing non-judgment. And so meditation is really hard. I'm just going to throw that out there. It's really hard to sit still and not indulge in your thought process. So the non-judgment for me comes in the most when I get caught in my critical cycles in my mind while I'm saying silently, and you hear this voice say like, hey, I'm throwing all these thoughts at you and you're ignoring me. And at first that's a challenge, but then the next challenge is, okay, your brain starts to have a little tantrum. It's like, I'm bored. I hate this. I can't stand meditating. And you get this whole like, meditating's the worst. Like that's how my process went, at least. And just to know that that comes up as this form of resistance because it's uncomfortable to do something different. Our body likes that kind of whirly feeling that you get from not being attentive. It's reinforcing for us. And similarly, a lot of people are in less than ideal situations in their life, maybe at a job they don't really enjoy, or hanging out with the same friends who don't really encourage them or give them as much love as they hope they would. But the idea of changing and doing something unknown is really scary. So it makes sense why we stay in these situations sometimes. So this is wonderful practice, not only for shifting into a less resistant space in your mind, but also in your life. It's good to practice letting go of resistance and putting yourself in situations where you feel that resistance so that you can practice working through it. And this is one of the main reasons that I go to yoga, because yoga makes me angry sometimes. I'm there and I'm like, why can't I bend over? Why can't my legs straighten? Why is this so hard? My body feels so heavy. it just brings up all these reactions. And the wonderful thing about practice is that you get to keep working at it, knowing that over time it will get better. So that's a key component of meditation practice too, and especially loving kindness. If you're sending love out into the world, please don't send out all your criticisms and all that mess inside you too. Just practice soothing yourself. I like to either label it as like, oh, thinking, or just say, no, thank you. I'm busy right now. Like, sometimes it's helpful to imagine my brain as a toddler. I was a nanny for a long time, so this is easy for me to imagine this toddler voice inside me being like, I want this. I need to do something else, and just say, okay, I hear you. I see you. We're going to do that in 1 minute. Can you stay with me for 1 minute? And then work from there. So you get to kind of parent yourself, build up your own resiliency, and this will help in every single aspect of your life. I guarantee it. So we'll get started now. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Breathing. Please breathe. It's not the core focus of this practice, but breathing in meditation or life is super important. I can't emphasize it enough. If you ever get lost in your mind or your practice and you really need something to ground and come back to, notice your breath. You don't even need to change your breath, but just noticing what it's doing and taking that second to refocus on your breath, that helps you reconnect with your body and your mind. So that's all the components of loving kindness, and I'll run you through one round now of how I practice it, and I would love to hear if you practice it differently, what you do, if there are aspects you like from your practice or my practice that you're going to take into the future. And my advice for anything that you're learning in general is just take what serves you and leave the rest, right? So I am not a magician or all-knowing being. I'm a human being too, and I am learning. So as much as I love that I get to say I lead meditation circle, I'm also not an expert. You are the expert for your life. So I want to fully empower you to know that and take on that ownership over your own experience, to know that this is your practice. It's not serving me necessarily. It's for you and your mind, your community, your ecosystem, and your whole universe that you live and work and thrive in. So with that, we'll get started. I'm going to place my feet firmly on the ground, straightening up my spine so I'm sitting up nice and tall. You can also do this laying down. And I like to bring my eyes to close and just check in with my body here. Maybe doing some little shimmies, stretching out a little bit. Just connecting to your breath, seeing what's going on in you, in your mind, in your body. If you have any aches and pains, just doing a quick scan through. Tuning into that breath. And we'll start by bringing to mind a person who loves you very much. So when you imagine them, you can feel that loving energy pouring out towards you. You feel connected and safe and heard and seen, and just like that true sense of being given permission to feel authentic, maybe. Whatever that love feels like for you. And pulling that feeling into your mind, seeing if you can really embody that. We'll start by sending loving kindness to ourselves. So with all that love in your heart, pull yourself into your mind, wishing yourself, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be peaceful, may I be free. Taking a deep breath in and out. Pulling to mind a neutral, well actually we'll do a loved one first. So pulling to mind a loved one and sending them these wishes. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, may you be free. Breathing again. Bringing to mind a neutral or indifferent person in your life, somebody who you don't have a lot of judgment towards, but you can see their face, maybe a barista, a mailman, a neighbor who you haven't gotten to know very well, or somebody you just passed in your daily life. And we'll send them loving kindness too. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. May you be free. Taking another deep breath. And lastly, pulling to mind a difficult person in your life, somebody who you have conflict or challenge with. There's some struggle there. And knowing that they are a human being too who needs the same basic things that we do, and the more that we can empathize and extend our love to them, the less it actually impacts us as well. So it's a win-win. So when you're ready, pulling them into your mind and wishing them these words. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. May you be free. And the last piece I like to add into this is just sending loving kindness out to the entire universe, all living creatures and beings, far and wide. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. May you be free. And how I close my circles and how I'll close this little practice here is by doing a short namaste. So we say, the light, the love, and the teacher in me sees and honors the light, the love, and the teacher in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for that. I hope that was helpful. This is a wonderful practice to do on your own, but also if you have a group you want to practice meditating with, or in your family, it's a really nice way of feeling connected while also having some time to unwind and process your own experience in the world. Hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.